Hello there, funnel marketers. Hello there, freedom marketers. It's Divya Mystery here, coming at you with another live stream. And today, I want to talk to you about how you can use behavioral-based marketing to automate, and scale your business quicker. Um, the reality is, when we're in business, when we first start in business, we're kind of hustling. We're like hustling. We're doing the work. We're making sales. We're having conversations, doing stuff ourselves. But it comes to a point in time, and actually, this point comes very quickly. And I think I discovered this because I'm going to be honest, like, I like to do things efficiently. Always have, always will. I just love doing things efficiently. And as a result of this, my marketing has always become one of them things that I like to do efficiently. I don't like to spend a lot of time over it. And so, I figured out how to do this, and today I want to share with you how you can go about automating and scaling your business without having to hire tons and tons of people, but doing so through behavioral-based marketing. And so let's dive right into it and start talking about this behavioral-based marketing thing. I want to pose a question to begin with. And by the way, if you're on this live stream, please say hello. Let me know you're here. Let me know that you can hear me, and just interact, because it's good fun to do so. I'm just checking here that I'm actually live in the group, because I am. Perfect. Okay, so if you're here and you're live, or if you're on the recording, say hi. Don't wait to have me live. Just say hi. And by the way, please share this. Share this with other people. Invite them into the group. Let's grow this group. I want this group to become a place where you can learn and implement strategies to grow your business, scale your business in a way where you're not necessarily doing lots and more and more work, because there comes a point. We all only have 24 hours in a day. We've got to sleep for a chunk of that. We've got to eat, do other stuff. And so there is a limited amount of time we can use for business each and every day. And if we can use marketing to scale that, well, we can grow a little bit quicker. So I want to pose a question to you to begin with. Have you ever tried to sell something to somebody who doesn't want to buy it? Have you ever tried to sell something to somebody who doesn't want to buy it? I would guess if you're an entrepreneur and you've been in business a while, you've probably done this at some point. You've kind of gone to somebody and gone, hey, buy this thing, it's great. And then you've tried to use every strategy in the book to convince them to buy it. And you may or may not have been successful. Some of you would have been, some of you, other people may not have been. Either way, it doesn't really matter whether you were successful or not. The point is, if you're trying to sell something to somebody that doesn't want to buy it, what you're going to do is start to ruin that relationship with that person. If any of you have ever been into network marketing or multi-level marketing, I was in it at one point. A lot of entrepreneurs have tried it. The reality is, in that world, you're often selling to people who don't necessarily want to buy, because the first point of call is to sell to, thank you for the thumbs up, whoever's just joined. Say hi in the chat box. Let me know you're here. So in the comments. In that environment of network marketing, you often, the first point of call is sell to your friends and family, and like, you've got this crazy cool thing. Often it's quite kind of a cool thing that you're selling, but they're just not interested, and you're selling to them. And often the problem with that is you're selling to somebody who doesn't want to buy. And so with behavioral-based marketing, if you want to scale up with behavioral-based marketing, the reality is what we can do with behavioral-based marketing and enable us to scale is to individualize them conversations to the right people who are interested. And by doing so, increase our relationship with that person, increase the likelihood that they're going to buy, and not piss off the people, annoy the people who are not interested, right? That's the thing. Hey there, Akhtar. Great of you to join me. By the way, if you're on here, please share it. Invite people into the group. I'd love more people to hear this stuff. And so we've got to be really careful. And there's a great copywriter, and you might want to look this up, by the way. His name's Gary Bensavenga. I will type it into the chat box later on afterwards, because His surname's a bit, it's a bit crazy to spell. And he's got something called the Bensavenga bullets. They're like 29 odd emails that he used to send out. It's on an archive page now. It's completely free. And one of the things that he talks about in one of these emails is the fact that if you're any line of copy of information of sales copy of emails or live streams and stuff, which are not relevant to the person who's watching it, not relevant to the thing that you're selling, that even remotely takes them away, will unsell them. So imagine that here is sold and here is where they're starting, and you're nudging them forward, and you do something that you sell them something they're not interested in. It actually moves them backwards, and all that work you put in to get to that point of selling to them is undone. And often, if someone's brand new to your database and you start selling the wrong stuff to them, it actually takes them into the negative. And you've got to work way harder to get them to the point of buying. And you can alleviate that. And you can alleviate that very quickly and easily by using behavioral-based marketing. And it's real simple. It's not really simple, but it's real simple. So what I mean by that is it's simple from the point of view of how to understand it. It's not as easy from a tech point of view to implement it, but it is pretty simple to understand how this works. And it's real. Let's go into this. Really, on the very basic level, you can do three things. What you can do is split people into three main core categories. Now, I want to show you how to do that. So let me just switch to my... here we go. So there's three main core categories, really. In fact, we're going to switch back. We'll come back in a second. There's three main core categories. And then three categories are non-buyers, buyers, and multi-buyers. You could add in there one more category of non-buyers, people interested in buying, buyers, and multi or high ticket buyers. So you could say there's four categories. And what we want to do is we want to shape the message, shape the follow-up based on these individuals. At the worst case scenario, or the least you should really be doing to measure this, is just splitting them people out into different categories and sending them the same emails to see how engaged they are in them emails. And I did this for a client recently. We kind of split out a segment of her list with another segment. This segment, we thought would be most interested in the offer, and this segment was just the general list. And in doing so, we saw way bigger open rate up here than we did down here. Same emails, way bigger open rate. And that gives us huge information into understanding our database, understanding who's interested, and then presenting the right offers to the right set of people. And you can break it down with non-buyers, people interested, buyers, and multi or high ticket buyers. Now, this is important because let's say, for example, you've gone through a campaign. Somebody's gone through a campaign and they've not bought. They've not opened, they've not clicked, or maybe they've opened, they've not clicked, they've not bought. They're just not interested. If you then tell them, oh, here's the countdown sequence, here's the end of the offer, you've got 3 days left, and you keep sending more and more emails, the chances are they're probably just going to get annoyed because you're trying to sell them something that they've not said that they're interested in. And in reality, we need to kind of segment them people out. So I want to show you a campaign where we've done this. And if you want to take this to a slightly more advanced level, it's not just whether they're buyers or non-buyers. What we do want to track, and the campaign I'm about to show you will show you this, is, for example, have they clicked? Have they opened the email? Have they clicked on the link in the email? Have they watched the video? Have they seen the offer? How much of the video have they watched, or the webinar? We want to see their level of engagement. If they're quite engaged, if they're opening a lot of emails, if they're clicking a lot of links, if they're attending webinars, watching videos, then the chances are they're quite interested in what you have to offer. In which case, following them up with some sort of deadline, go, oh, this offer's running out, is a great strategy to use. If they're not engaging, well, that kind of says says something about them. Either life's got in the way and they're not engaging, or they're just not interested. So you could, in that scenario, try a number of different strategies. But what I wanted to show you is one of my campaigns. This is I've not used this for a little while because I've closed this business down. But when I did, it ran really well. And this is an automated webinar campaign. So basically, what happens is people sign up here. They fill in a form, or we'll ignore this bottom bit for a minute, and I'll tell you why, because it's I'll tell you why in a second. But let's just take this top bit, this first bit here. They fill in a form, and to opt in for a case study, they can download, and then that sends them, in this box here, number of emails to invite them to a webinar. Now, you don't have to do like a case study and then invite them to a webinar. You could just, the first thing could just be straight to the webinar to keep it simple, right? And once they've got these emails in this particular sequence, they'll click a link which will register for them for the webinar automatically. So what I like to do in emails nowadays is automate as much as possible. So if you've got something where you want somebody to sign up for something, well, get them, set it up so they can just click a link. They don't have to enter their details again. Ideally, just click a link. Where you might want them to enter their details again is where you want to capture more information. For example, if you don't have their phone number, you want their phone number to text them or call them, get them to enter their phone number, their details again, so you get that phone number. But in this scenario, what I did was just a link in an email, and they click that email. There was 3 invite emails, 1, 2, 3. I had some old ones that I tried and then edited and did 3 new ones. And if they clicked, they were registered for the webinar. If they didn't click, they went into this sequence here, and that was it. I kind of stopped there, and they would go into another bit of marketing. They wouldn't get reminded about this webinar. Now, if they've clicked, I know they're interested, right? They've got some interest in what I have to offer, the webinar. And so here what happens, they click, they get tagged, and then they get put into this sequence here. And this is the sequence that says, hey, they've registered for the webinar. And I don't have any emails here. And the reason is because this particular automated webinar was it's starting in 15 minutes type webinar. So it was starting like pretty much straight away. So there's no need for emails because it was an automated webinar. Now, if they watched that webinar, if they attended that webinar, sorry, if they didn't attend, they went into this sequence here. So let's just deal with that sequence there. If they didn't attend, they'd go into an encore sequence whereby they got tagged, and it would send them into another invite series here. If they did attend, then the next thing that happens is I have a post-webinar follow-up sequence. And this is a count. They've seen it. They've kind of seen the offer, and here's a countdown sequence. Hey, the offer's running out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 emails to go. Hey, the offer's running out. The offer's running out. It's going to end very soon. Take action now. And genuinely, this offer did run out. I set this up with what in Infusionsoft is called an action set. There's lots of ways of doing this. This is just the way I've done it in Infusionsoft. There's loads of different ways to do it in Infusionsoft. There's ways of doing it with most other software out there. But effectively setting an actual deadline, right? And sticking to that deadline, not just a fake deadline. And so when they get this email, they'll go into this bit here, and then once they've been to that bit there, the links in the emails now sends them to a page that goes, hey, this offer is no longer valid. It's gone. It's finished. Kaput. So off that, they either bought, and they've got 2 payment options to buy. And if they bought, they went into here. Great. And if they didn't buy, well, we do take them out of this sequence. There's no point offering this again, but we take them into another sequence. But in doing so, we know that they're engaged, they're interested, they want this stuff because they've watched the webinar, right? So we can then follow up with this particular set of people here who are interested. And they're not just saying they're interested, but they're genuinely interested, and we can follow up with them further. and with different offers that are related to the same topic. And in doing so, what we're not doing then is we're not sending these with this sequence here, this post webinar sequence. We're not sending that to people who've not attended, because they don't really know what the offer is. I don't really want to bombard them with a countdown sequence. I don't feel like I've at that point built that relationship enough that they're going to really engage with this series, and a lot of them would just end up unsubscribing. I'm also not sending that countdown sequence to people who have not even registered for the webinar, because they haven't seen the offer, they haven't seen the content, they don't know what it's about, they don't know what I'm about, they don't know if they believe it's right for them, and I don't want to send them a countdown sequence if they're not kind of ready. It doesn't make any sense to do that. So I don't, and I put them into a different campaign. Now, by doing this, we're kind of going to different segments of people and saying, hey, you've shown interest in this, so I'm going to send you more information about that. Person B, you've shown interest about this, so I'm going to send you more information about that. And person C, you've shown more interest about this, so I'm going to send you more information about that. And the beauty is, if they're not interested, then you're not going to keep selling to them. You will send them some sales messages, of course, but you're not going to sell to them too hard. And by doing so, you will very easily increase your conversion rate of the people who are interested. And the people who are not interested, it can often be for many, many different reasons, right? You're probably your perfect type of buyer. You've probably bought programs before, and that's why you're selling programs or coaching or mentoring or consulting or whatever it is that you do. You're probably your ideal client. You've probably bought stuff before. And I would think back. Was the very first time you opted in someone's website, have you always bought their thing straight away? And the chances are, probably not, is the reality, right? Because if you're ready and you had a need and you knew that you needed to learn this particular thing, and you had the money in the bank and you were ready to go, then you might jump on and you might buy straight away. But the chances are most people don't do that. Most people look at what the person's about, what they're teaching them, and they want this. They want to build a relationship. But when they opt in, life can often get in the way, and they might not watch the video. They might not open the emails. They might not click. It might have gone into their spam, and it doesn't mean they're not buyers. They could be your best buyers down the line. I know for somebody I know has quite a relatively large business. In the millions of pounds, I think around £10 million a year kind of business. And somebody who in the last couple of years became a buyer had been on their database for about 8 years. 8 years. Hadn't bought a single thing for 8 years, not even a book, right? They hadn't even bought a book for 8 years. And then in that 8th year, that person bought their book, came on their 1-day course, came on their 3-day course, bought into their mastermind group, and I believe they're now on their post-mastermind. They've got another mastermind called, which is any graduates of their first mastermind group, and they're in that group, and they've probably spent the most amount of money in the shortest space of time. But that's through following up. That's through automated marketing. That's through relationship building and making the right offers to that person. So I would really want to leave you with this now, is that I want you to go and I want to leave you with something practical, and that is go and have a look at your marketing and focus on one segment of person and just say, and the best way to start is often focus on multi-buyers, then work backwards to people who haven't bought. Because then multi-buyers are going to buy more. They're the lower hanging fruit. They're ready to buy more. What else can you offer them? But also, how are you following up with them? These different sets of people, how are you following up with them? And you can have as many categories of these people as you want. But if you haven't got any at the minute, I would suggest be really simple. Start with non-buyers and buyers, right? Segment them two out and just go, right, there's 2 sets of people here, buyers and non-buyers. And I'm going to follow up with them differently, right? Because some of them are fans of mine, people who bought, and some of them are not yet the same level of fan as the people who've bought, and that's okay. And you want to follow up with them differently, have slightly different email copy. It might be very similar, but you want slight tweaks, and measure how the percentage open rate, percentage clicks, and the level of engagement with them two segments of people. And by doing that, you will understand them better, and you'll be able to engage with them better, knowing exactly what the different groups of people want. So just start with that. People who haven't bought and people who have bought. And then you can escalate that relationship to the next level. You can take it to the next level and go, okay, what about people who bought less versus people who bought more? People who are engaged versus people who are not engaged, who haven't bought. And then we can go into things like people who've clicked, people who've opened, people who've watched videos, people who've attended webinars, people who've attended live events or haven't attended events, people who've seen the offer, haven't seen the offer, bought your book, haven't bought your book, downloaded X, haven't downloaded X, etc. You can make it quite complicated. There is software out there that'll track exactly how many minutes of a video that a person has watched and log that back next to their contact information inside, for example, Infusionsoft. And by doing this, we can kind of navigate the people who are interested versus the people not. And you might have a plethora of different products. So another way of doing this is you've got lots of different products. So let's say you've got 5 different products, and you might have one campaign for each of them 5 products. And you put someone through the first campaign and they don't open any emails or click. You put them through the second campaign, they open but they don't buy. Put them through the third campaign and they have a different level of engagement. They might buy, etc., etc. And so you can put them through all these campaigns, and then at the end of that, you've got data of like, okay, they're interested in product 2 and product 5, right? And then you can go, okay, well, how can I follow up with them again on product 2 and product 5 such that they might want to buy it? And that all involves a campaign, tracking it, but just having this mindset of who are my different segments of people. But a little bit of advice, keep it really simple. Keep it really simple to begin with. Don't go really complicated. Keep it real simple and then grow on that. Build on that. The simpler you keep it, the easier it becomes, and the quicker you can grow this to a level where you can have a very complex front-end system. So one of my clients has 5 different products, and they have one of their opt-in forms has 5 different answers to a question, which categorizing them into 5 different segments. And in doing so, we're just working on it at the minute. What will happen, or what does happen and will continue to happen on an even better level, is they get tagged, and the campaign they then go into, the next page that they then see, and the campaign they go into is relative to the answer they've given out of the 5 different answers they could give. So they've got to pick one, and they go into a different campaign depending on the answer that they give. And what that does is enables them to enables us to target the message based on their actions, based on what they're interested in, based on what they're doing, and they're more likely to stay engaged and buy from us and build that relationship, if they haven't already got it, to a level where they want to buy from us, or from my client, or from you, or whoever's putting the marketing in place. So look, that is behavioral based marketing, and by doing that and by measuring it, you can create a campaign which you can then pump more leads into the top and get more sales at the bottom. You can increase that conversion, because a typical cold lead to sale conversion is like 1%. But if you segment these people out, as I've been doing with one of my clients, their conversion rate is 3% at the bottom end. 3% of hot leads, and you typically would expect 1% from cold leads to wanting to buy, but they get from cold leads to wanting to buy 3% because they do this segmentation and lead them through different campaigns. And we're going to be working more on that and going deeper into that, and I may actually show you their campaign in the near future. So hey, this is Divya Mystery. I am Divya Mystery, signing off now from this live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. Please invite more people to the group. And if you're seeing this on YouTube or the recording or seeing this elsewhere, I'll put the link below to come and join the group. And in the group, we're going to really create this environment of love and respect for each other, and growth and information and ability to go out there and really grow your online business and get more people engaged with what you have to offer, and buy more of your products, and do so in a way where you can scale with ease. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you on your next video.